Hey everyone, welcome to the Essential Project Manager. My name is Jenny, and in today's video, I will take you through project management certifications. Is it worth it in 2025? And what is the best path for you? I'll also share my own personal experience with my certifications and how I got them. So let's get into it. Now, certifications are always a hot topic. I get asked this all the time. Should I get certified as a project manager? And the short answer is yes and no. Now, personally, I really feel like it depends on where you are in your career journey, what your intentions and motivations are, and how committed you are to being a project manager. So I've grouped this into three categories. Number one, you are a newbie or someone who has no project management experience and you want to get into this field. Number two, you are somebody transitioning into project management, been involved in projects, but not formally as a project manager, but you've exposed to it and you have some professional working experience. And number three, you are someone who is already a project management pro. You have the title, a few projects or plenty under your belt, and you're thinking about accelerating your career. I will definitely go through and recommend which certification is good for you based on your personal path. For the newbie or the brand new PM, you are probably someone who is looking to break into this field, not have a lot of experience or exposure to project management. Is certification right for you? Probably not. I say this because for someone who has zero project management experience, it's much more valuable to get some practical hands-on experience to see if you like it and to understand your objectives for wanting to get into this field and which industry you want to be in. You're probably feeling very overwhelmed. How do I start? Where do I even begin? And you might be worried you won't be taken seriously without a credential. But the truth is you need practical skills, not just theory. The question shouldn't be which certification should I choose? It should be more about what are the foundational steps I need to take to become a project manager. What do I have to do exactly to get into this field? The second group, the career transitioners. You've probably been in sales, marketing, engineering, or another field, and you've naturally managed projects there. Or maybe you have been in a project team, certainly exposed to projects. Now you want to formalize that experience and shift into a project management role. And if you're looking to become a dedicated PM after having this professional experience, maybe there are some roadblocks with recruiters asking for certifications. So even though you have informal experience, it's important to formalize this in a way that showcases your transferable skills. Remember, you're not starting from scratch. You bring a lot of valuable skills to the table. You need to translate your existing practical skills and fill in any project management gaps. We'll take a look if certifications are beneficial for you or if there are more strategic ways to leverage your practical skills and experience, segue into this career. And group three, the seasoned professionals. Hey guys, you're probably already a project manager, maybe even for a few years now. You're looking to elevate your career, land bigger projects, increase your salary, or gain specialized knowledge. You're probably plateauing, or you're seeing a job description that has more leadership aspects to it that explicitly require certifications. You know the job, but you need to have the formal recognition. The question for you should be, which certification will give me the best ROI, return on investment? You've already put in the time, you've already paid for it with your blood, sweat, and tears. Now we need to make sure that we choose the right certification that will work best for you and where you can use them as powerful accelerators to your career. Also, for people in this category, you might be thinking about moving on to a program management role. Suffice it to say, you will definitely need some certifications before you get to that next level. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't sprinkle in Scrum Master to this list. A lot of people think project manager, Scrum Master may be synonymous nowadays, depending on which industry you're in, but they are very different roles. Now, I would say that while there are some transferable skills from being a project manager, they are still very different. If you want to go into this area, you should definitely get certification. In fact, for someone who's already in tech, like an engineer who wants to move into this area, it might be easier because you understand the rhythm, the pace, what you're building, some of the technological aspects, and how a team works in this fashion already. If you're someone new coming in and you get your certification, it will still be a little bit tough. So try to get that initial experience as a Scrum Master or sit in Scrum meetings, get a feel for it, and see if it's something that you want to do. So a lot of times when I'm coaching project managers who might want to move into this space to become a Scrum Master or a release train engineer, I always say to them, if your company already operates in this way, ask to sit into a Scrum meeting or participate in some of their processes and ceremonies and get a feel for it that way. And also, if you're trying to explore different methodologies, it's always good to understand the base concept, and how to incorporate them in your day-to-day. Something as simple as using a Kanban board or having a daily stand-up. Those are all Agile methodologies that you can incorporate into your project management role now. So whether you're just starting out, looking to pivot, or ready to accelerate your career and get to the next level, it's clear there is not a one-size-fits-all for project management certifications. In fact, the biggest question you should be asking yourself is a certification even my first step? It's all about timing and your personal objectives. Another consideration with project management certifications is what industry and what type of project manager will you be? Sometimes certifications can be an overkill, depending on the size of the company, the industry you're in, and the type of projects you're managing. So as an example, if you're working in a startup or a SaaS company where some of the projects are very similar or repetitive, a project management certification might be too over the top for these projects. However, if you're aiming to get into a large corporate company, there might be more structure, more rigor. You might need a more robust framework. So a certification definitely helps here. It is very important to know at least the basics, the foundations. You need to be able to speak intelligently about project management, what a project manager does, how you should behave. You will definitely need to know the project lifecycle from start to finish and how to manage one successfully. So that's where certifications and courses can help. So on that note, let's dive into each of the certifications. I will cover a few of the popular ones. I will give you a brief overview and a recommendation on which ones are suitable for you based on the three groups. Now, the PMI, the Project Management Institute, it's a global organization, and a lot of the foundational concepts and principles was started by the PMI. And the Project Management Institute offers two of the most popular certifications, the CAPM, which is the Certified Associate in Project Management, and the PMP, the Project Management Professional. The CAPM is designed to validate your foundational understanding of project management principles and terminology. It's a great stepping stone if you're not yet eligible for the PMP because you need the hands-on experience and the training experience. You will need 23 hours of project management education, which can range from affordable online courses to a more structured training program. So it really depends what you're looking at for your training choices. You do need a secondary degree, high school diploma or global equivalent, and those 23 hours of formal project management education. For newbies who want a PMI credential, but you're not ready for the PMP, this is an option after you built the foundational practical skills. It's also suitable for career transitioners who want to formally validate and grasp their PM fundamentals to employers for that recognition of the PMI Institute. Next, we have the PMP, the Project Management Professional. This is often the gold standard in project management, and it is for good reason. It's very comprehensive and incredibly challenging. So that's why it holds so much weight, but it's also very time-consuming and a heavy investment. Often this costs anywhere from $500 to $2,000. Now, before you even apply for the PMP, you need to have substantial prior experience. So it's not for beginners. If you have a 4-year degree, you will need 36 months or 3 years of unique, non-overlapping project leading experience. If you just have a secondary diploma, that jumps to 60 months. So that's 5 years. And of course, that is on top of their 35 hours of formal PM education. Now, this is good if you want to accelerate your career as a seasoned pro. The PMP gives you that PMP stamp beside your name. It validates all of your experience, and it can open doors to senior leadership roles and higher salaries. It tells employers that you have the experience, the depth, and you understand the full breadth of project management disciplines. I myself don't have my PMP, so it's not necessarily for everybody. Personally, I just didn't want to put in the time for this. And because I have years of experience, plus I'm based in Europe, it's not as prevalent here. Whereas the Prince 2 certification definitely is. Prince 2 stands for Projects in Controlled Environments. This is a methodology-based certification that is particularly strong in the UK, Europe, and Australia, and within government sectors globally. Unlike the PMP's broad approach, Prince 2 gives you a highly structured, process-driven framework for managing projects. It defines clear roles, responsibilities, and management by exception. Typically, you'll pursue it in 2 stages, your foundation certificate and then your practitioner certificate. So there's 2 certifications. I pursued my Prince 2 certification later in my career This wasn't about learning how to manage a project from scratch. I already had that hands-on experience. For me, it was about formalizing that knowledge into a globally recognized framework that was relevant in my regional location and a job market, especially as I worked for organizations that heavily favored a structured approach. It gave me a common language and a robust system for managing certain types of projects, specifically IT and a lot of change management projects. For foundation, including training, you're looking at $700 to $1,500 US. For practitioner, also with training, it can range from $800 to $2,000 plus. So to get both levels, you're looking at $1,500 to about $3,500. And that's 2 certifications, depending on the training provider and the region. You can start with your foundation and see if you need the practitioner. Oftentimes the foundation will be enough to open doors, but the practitioner is definitely a must if you're looking for leadership roles or more complex projects. The good thing about the Prince 2 is there are no prerequisites, making it very accessible for everyone. However, to take the practitioner exam, you have to have passed the foundation exam or hold another certification like the PMP or the CAPM. So this is a great accelerator for seasoned pros who work in roles in highly regulated environments. Think government, tech companies, or larger companies that prefer a structured methodology. If you're looking to work internationally, especially in Europe, this is a huge asset. Another contender is the Google Project Management Certification Badge. So I've seen this offered in Coursera or part of Google's Growth with Google initiative. And this certificate is designed specifically for accessibility and practicality, which is great. It focuses on teaching you foundational PM skills and how to use common PM tools like Asana, Trello, and Jira. In order to get this certification, you have to go through a subscription model through Coursera Plus, and that's about $39 a month. And because it's self-paced and designed to take around 6 months, so 10 hours a week, you're looking at a total of $230. There are no prerequisites. It's designed for beginners with no prior experience. And this is a great option for those looking to validate your foundational knowledge to recruiters and looking for that first or second PM role. The CSM focuses on the Scrum framework, which is widely used in the Agile methodology. This is issued by the Scrum Alliance, one of the oldest and most respected Agile certification bodies. As a Scrum Master, you're a facilitator, coach, and a servant leader for your Scrum team, making sure that you follow the Scrum principles and remove any impediments. This isn't about traditional managing people. It's about enabling teams to be self-organizing. It's a completely different role from project management. I would also say that a lot of project managers are not Scrum Masters, don't want to be in the Scrum space, and a lot of Scrum Masters don't want to be project managers. They are very different roles, even though they're in the same kind of delivery space. So you really need to make sure what industry you're in or what your interests are before you dive in. The total cost for the CSM is bundled with a mandatory 2-day training led by a certified Scrum trainer. The courses usually range from $1,000 to $2,000 US, and the exam fee is included. The main requirement is attending the mandatory 16-hour training course from the certified Scrum trainer. No prior experience is needed, but understanding Agile concepts help. Here's what I would say. If you are going to go for your Scrum Master certification, this is better suited for people who are already using the Agile methodology or transitioning into this area. So existing architects, engineers, people in the tech industry, probably better suited to move into the Scrum Master space because you would have the exposure, you understand how it feels to have an impediment unblocked for you, so you understand the role of the Scrum Master and the importance, so you are better able to put on that hat when you get the certification. It's great for career transitioners moving into IT or software development, or seasoned professionals who want to facilitate Agile teams. It's highly valuable. It's very much in demand with Agile environments. If you get your certified Scrum Master and you're placed in an organization that doesn't use Agile methodologies, it's not going to help you there. So it's very specific to using the Agile methodology. There's other Agile certifications that you can get, like the Agile Certified Practitioner or a Release Train Engineer certification. This is for organizations using the scaled Agile framework methodology, the SAFe in project management. These are very specific, and unless you are in this industry or using this, it won't help you. They're not necessarily transferable. If you want to be in the Agile space, instead of getting a certification for a specific role, start with an Agile course or an Agile certificate in learning how to manage Agile projects. One of the biggest pain points for newbies and transitioners is that there's a disconnect between theory and practical hands-on knowledge. So certifications like PMP and CAPM certainly give you a baseline knowledge, but they won't teach you how to handle difficult stakeholders in a live meeting or how to rescue a project that's spiraling. These certifications assume that you already have some of this experience and you are just validating this with passing the exam. I always think of these certifications as learning to drive in a simulator versus learning to drive on the road, which is what my course teaches you. You need both, but you gain confidence and an understanding much faster with the real road experience first. It makes the theory in certifications so much easier to grasp. If I didn't have practical experience before my Prince 2 certifications, it would have been very difficult for me to jump in with no experience. So another thing to consider is my course, the Essential Project Manager Foundation course. I created this because it's significantly more accessible and cost-effective to get your feet wet and to learn the non-negotiable essentials of what it takes to become a project manager in the real world. All of my experiences over the last 17 plus years of managing, coaching, working with project managers and program managers. It's a practical, low-risk way to build your confidence and skills before you invest in a major certification. It even helps you with deciding if you want to pursue a PMP or a CAPM later. And it's truly aligned with your career path. It will make those certifications easier to understand. And even if you don't become a project manager, it will give you skills to land your next opportunity with confidence and leadership skills that set you apart from the rest. And in my course, I give you the templates, I give you the materials, we do a walkthrough, and you do it. How do I have a project kickoff call? How do I fill out a RAID log? How do I do a stakeholder mapping? All of those things you need to actually do. You'll gain the confidence and hands-on capability, not just to talk about project management effectively, but to actually do it effectively. I teach the essential skills that will make any certification you pursue afterwards far more meaningful and less overwhelming. Also, a lot of students have landed project management roles without certifications solely just from taking my course. Some of them did pursue their certifications thereafter, and having this as a baseline really made things a lot easier. Now, there are other videos that you can find online covering people's personal experiences with their certifications. Please go have a look at them. This is by no means an extensive dive, but just a quick overview so you get a flavor of where you sit in the certification path. If you're serious about any of these certifications, do a little bit more research. It's always great to hear from people who have these certifications and to understand if it was beneficial for them to see if it's suitable for you. I was a career transitioner. I fell into project management, and I was a project manager for 5 years before I got my Prince 2 Foundation and Practitioner. After that, I got my MSP, Managing Successful Programs. Then I have a few Agile certifications under my belt as well. So these things can always help you leverage your career to the next step, depending on where you want to go, what industry you're in, and how you want to grow in this field. As my career was evolving, so were my certifications. And keep in mind that this is a career that has a very long lifespan and there's tons of room to grow. Don't feel pressured into getting a certification right away. For me, I always say it's better to try and get a taste of it before you invest your time and energy, because you want to make sure you're doing something that's going to give you the best value and something that you like, that you will be successful at, and that you can leverage and can help you with your career path. So to recap the 3 groups, number 1, if you are a newbie to project management, I do not recommend getting a certification. This is a heavy investment. I do recommend investing in a course that will provide the foundational background and tools for you to understand what the job requires and for you to gain the practical skills and experience. Another thing you could do is start volunteering for project management activities at your work, or everything you do, treat it as a project, and whatever you learned in your course, apply those learnings to it. Also, it's important to network and talk to other project managers who can help and mentor you as you go through the beginning of your project management journey. Number 2, the career transitioners. You're already someone who has professional experience in other roles, exposed to projects, been in a project team, maybe even led a project as a subject matter expert, and you now want to transition into a project management role. Is certification right for you? Maybe. I would look for a course that gives you the solid foundation of the project management principles so you can translate and leverage your existing skill set and formalize it into project management language. Now, imposter syndrome might creep in because you've been exposed to projects, but you don't have the actual title, but it doesn't matter. As long as you present yourself as someone who understands projects, how to navigate through them, how to manage people and stakeholders, and really let your transferable skills shine, this can really be a game changer. So really make sure that your confidence is up and you're able to translate the value you bring. Again, you're not starting from scratch. You have experience that you can bring to the table. Learning the foundational concepts and applying them into practical scenarios and getting that practice will really give you the boost in confidence you need to land that PM role. Also, I would recommend coaching, maybe speaking to an existing project manager. I help a lot of people transition into project management because they can't see how the two can relate, or they think they're starting from zero, and that's definitely not the case. For seasoned pros, are certifications worth it? Yes, absolutely. You'll definitely need to invest in certifications. You already have the experience under your belt. You have the practical knowledge. This is something that you need to get to the next level. This will help you land more complex projects and definitely get you to a leadership position. I would recommend getting them if you can get your employer to pay for them, which is what I did for all of my certifications. It was to their benefit to invest in me as an individual, but also it's an opportunity for negotiating. So you should ask your line manager or your company's HR to see if you can get this extended to you. My core philosophy is experience first, formal validation second. Certifications take time, money, and energy. We want to make sure that certification works hard for you. So make sure you match your certificate to your specific career path, experience, and the job market. If you can get your employer to pay for that validation, even better. And if you are a new project manager or looking to pivot into the project management space, be sure to check out my Essential Project Manager Foundation course. This was built for people like you. You will have over 12 hours of video content, tons of templates and tools that you can use immediately, and learning the foundational concepts and applying them into practical scenarios and getting that practice will really give you the boost in confidence you need to land that PM role. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know about your certification journey in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you want to see more.